No Torbjorn, so dive is an option here for Legacy Esports. No Roadhog either. So this is very interesting.
Boobs need to wake up.
Yeah, maybe.
Looks like he's fallen asleep.
It's been a long day.
Can't park there, by the way.
What, you gonna tell him?
I will.
Alright, go on then.
Head over to Goldshire Studios and hit him up. Well, D-Field, see what he can do on the Ashe.
Very talented hit scan player. He does play a bit of Ashe to Athletico now. They're going to be forced into the bunker, but Rani's already taken him out straight away.
Absolutely smacked in the face.
Design's going to go for this res, but he might be baited into it.
Or gets booped off, but the res was confirmed in the end. So D-Field is back in action for Athletico. Not for too long though, as Noosh just charges him down. It hasn't been a fun game so far for D-Field. Hasn't really got any room at all on the Ashe, and that's really what you need. You want to be firing uncontested, but Legacy have done a good job of jumping on top of him. Only the one loss so far for Legacy, and that is going to be brought straight back into the fight by Stolen. Poor old Goobs, not much to be done there.
Rani dropping in and finishing off the fight with those rockets. Wuvo's going to come in late, but it's not going to be able to get much done.
Yeah, only another 5 seconds.
Poor D-Field. 20% ult charge. He really didn't get to play his hero that fight. He wasn't in the shield from Paso. Paso kind of just bunkered himself up on the point and protected himself only. And that meant D-Field was so vulnerable. And you saw as soon as he got res, Noosh knew that there was nobody else around him because the Mercy had just left him. So it's an easy kill.
It looks like they're staying.
It looks like they're staying. It could
swaps.
be dangerous. Rani's actually gone over to the Bastion, so this is a big advantage for Legacy. There's no Ana to put the Iron Nade onto the Bastion, which is often the key to getting him down. But Wuvo's been taken out straight away by Ike.
Goodbye. It's a res, of course. I do like this from Legacy, though.
I do
something
too.
different.
It's fantastic, and they've got the nano boost to boot, which means they need anything they can from Athletico. Do they have the damage to dislodge this Bastion with a nano boost? I don't think so.
Ike's looking for damage around the side, so there's many threats that Athletico have to be aware of. One of them as well is Noosh, who's on the cart. Rani is being covered off nicely by his team, not getting too low, still full HP. Eventually the Rocket Barrage does get the better of him, and actually that's not cancelled somehow. It looked like Noosh was going for a hook. Lab wasn't available, passed with the sleep dart. And I suppose that's one way to get a Bastion off the cart.
They used Quad J's mech and the Transcendence there to protect Wuvo in that Rocket Barrage. The drum had come down too, so he was doing so much damage, and now Legacy have swapped it up completely to a dive. So the Bastion didn't work out, so they're going to go dive and try and dislodge this way.
They got some pretty decent mileage though.
Oh, they certainly did, and now Athletico's composition doesn't deal with dive too well. The only way is if they can get consistent pressure onto this team by using, you know, the fire rockets. But Rani swapped off the Genji onto the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, that's
does he know how to play this hero?
Interesting choice. Well, I don't know, but I like it. It's interesting. Triple dive tank for Legacy.
Yeah, they really want to be aggressive, I guess, and really shut down D-Field on that Widowmaker. But at the moment, nobody's in his way.
I mean, you can be aggressive with a Genji as well. So, Funray going down early in the fight. D-Field totally uncontested. It's not a situation for Legacy that they might have envisioned in their dreams.
It's not something Athletico would have prepared for either, I don't think. But they are dealing with it pretty well. They've just got to keep the distance. They've got to keep D-Field way at the back, letting these shots roll out. Wuvo can really stop and put a lot of pressure on the team here as he comes in with these damage-boosted rockets.
But the very low HP Mercy design drops down low onto the ground, but flies back on up. Is continuing to be chased by these tanks, and Wuvo's going to blow himself up, I think, there. No, actually Lab gets the kill, but perhaps Wuvo did enough of the damage to make it easy. Legacy will continue to push forward.
The space wasn't able to be used by D-Field. It's hard to find a nice headshot there. You have those three beefy tanks. Really, the only ones you can take advantage of are the Ana and the Lucio. But if they take the nice positioning, then it can be quite hard to get. So he has swapped over to the Brigitte, and it is the 3-3 for Athletico. No Mei inside as Quad J retains the Diva Bomb. It's the only ultimate on the field this fight. Goobs will get a Transcendence, though, eventually.
Go for a boot, but has actually put Goobs out of position. That's a good dive in from Legacy. Funray is dropping low.
Paso drops low too.
Self-destruct here actually catches Stolen. He has a real problem with that, continually getting caught by self-destruct. Is it enough to turn the fight around for Athletico? I'm not sure that it is. EMP from Ike has swung things back in the favour of the team in green. Funray with the Primal Rage. There's a lot of low HP targets here, but Transcendence actually forced out there by Goobs. Might not be a bad result for Legacy, even though they do lose the fight.
I don't think it's the worst result for Atletico either. I mean, you're not really using this Transcendence for anything to counter, and he looks like he's going to go swap back to something. Maybe it's the Ana that he's going to swap back to, but I don't think that you'd be happy if you were Legacy there. They really wanted to cap the point. Now they've only got a minute 32 on the clock, and it looks like a defense is very possible for Atletico.
Well, Goop's going to have to hightail it back to this team. He's on the Moira, so that doesn't help. Fade does get you back in quickly, getting taxied by design as well. So we're back.
D-Field's rally is going to be very important here. He can really sustain well through this. Design gets hacked early, but now they know where the Sombra is.
Yeah, they're not going to like that at all. But no EMP available for Ike just yet. He does drop low. Now self-destruct coming through from Noosh. Isn't going to connect onto anything. The sound barrier there for Stolen as well. Not so useful because Legacy was forcing all of Atletico away with the self-destruct anyway. Graviton Surge, Wubo, he looked at the ground to throw it just as he gets EMP'd on up. The timing for Legacy is just impeccable from Ike with that EMP.
Yeah, and you see the fight going the way of Legacy. Off that, they did have the nano boost and the sound barrier to open up the fight, lasting it long enough for Ike to get his EMP, which turns it around. Unfortunately, Wubo not able to use his self-destruct. No, it's his Graviton Surge, and Quad J gets hacked, so he wasn't able to use the self-destruct. But will Atletico choose to hold forward here, or will they try and retreat? Looks like they're trying to retreat. Legacy not in position to chase them down and get those stagger kills.
A bit surprising to see Atletico retreating there. They have ults.
They certainly do. They have the Graviton Surge. They might have been able to take a fight there early, but it looks like they'll probably still get an early fight because Legacy have chose not to push the cart as they were swapping heroes. And now we have a Goat's Mirror. This is something that I'd like to see Atletico use Paso aggressively here because he's been an absolute star for this team.
A minute 40, no ultimates charged for Legacy, bar the rally. It's not a good looking situation for them. If Atletico handles their economy well, Wubo's looking for that grab and he'll get it out just as he goes low. Now self-destruct from Quad J. Will split apart the Atletico players and rest up trying to finish things off.
The mismatch here is on the flex supports though. Goops is on the Moira and Lab is on the Zenyatta. That means there is more damage potential on the side of Legacy Esports with that Discord Orb and just the right clicks and left clicks going out from Lab. So I think Goobs will want to use this Moira ult as soon as possible.
Is it enough to overwhelm the ultimate advantage that Atletico have got?
Most certainly not at the moment. Just the defensive ults that Atletico have, they can really make this the last fight if they use this shield well and use the architecture of the map well.
Yeah, take their time before letting this fight really boil over.
They need to avoid getting taken poker. But it will be an aggressive fight as they use the Moira ult and the rally to open it up.
Well, Legacy want potentially 2 here, and they might just get it. This fight looks like it's going to be a quick one in the favour of Atletico. Coalescence out, everything really out from Atletico, barring the sound barrier from design. Sure, it's going to net a fight win for Atletico, but Legacy come back with a vengeance here. 70% towards Grab, 93% towards Shatter. Stolen's 96% as well.
I think Shatter from Paso there might have been a bit of a waste. He used it, didn't catch anything, and the fight had already been won. There were already 2 in advantage for 2, so that could come back to bite them as Fundre has his Shatter. What can he get out of it?
For Atletico to slow things down here, hopefully get Graviton Surge up, self-destruct, but they're not going to be given that opportunity. The Shatter is good and answering sound barrier equally so for design. Does keep Atletico fairly safe. Grab's been eaten by Quad J. That is big. Ike's not happy at all about that one, and now we're at 90% for Wubo. Goobs is going to have a coalescence to chuck straight in there as well, but Paso does get picked up just before the Graviton Surge goes out, and that may mean Atletico don't have the damage to burst on through, which is exactly what happens. It's all gone wrong for Atletico, and that Shatter is going to seal the deal for Legacy. They'll be able to continue this push forward, and overtime is a ticking, but Legacy are still moving.
And Atletico used every single ultimate they had there. They used the grab late in the fight, the rally late in the fight, so this means they're going to be very low on ultimate charge going into the next one, which is going to be the last fight of the point. Ike has a chance to get a grab here. He's on high energy, I believe, and he will be standing forward to start poking. It is pretty dry for Legacy, but they have the advantage of the high energy Zarya and the Discord Orb to go into this fight. It's going to be a big nade from Goobs to pull off here.
Real chance gone begging for Atletico. Let's see if they can make amends for it here. Paso's going to look for the Shatter. He's really being pressured nicely. Shatter does go down. Ike, Lab on the floor, and now Lab smacked into a wall. Good charge from Paso, and a great way to start the fight for Atletico. They'll try and hold just before points in. They will indeed be able to do that. Fundre Rani, the last alive now. And Fundre ticking away very low. The rally from Rani is definitely not going to be enough to sustain through the 6 players alive of Atletico.
And again, they hold off the back of that Paso Reinhardt play. He gets the first 2 instrumental kills in the fight. Taking Lab out early there was exactly what they needed. They needed a big play, and they got one from the side of Atletico. Now, game on. How fast can they cap this map? Can they get it all the way to the 3rd point?
Initiating match.
It looked to be a bit of a disaster in that first and second phase, going down so fast on that bunker composition on first and transitioning to second not too well. A few mistakes from Legacy cost them in that second phase. Rani going over to that Wrecking Ball didn't really get much value out of it, but they did manage to eventually get the cart through, as Defield didn't get as much done as he really wanted with those sightlines.
You did speak about the perceived weakness for Legacy on these hybrid maps. Kings Road, 2 losses out of 2. Hollywood, 1 loss out of 1. And Paris is a 1 win, 1 loss. So these are maps that have been a little bit more interesting.
I think
Paris was obviously Assault.
Barney
is what I'm talking about. 1 loss out of 1 played. So that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I think the difference between teams when they're not good at these hybrid maps and when they're not good at control maps is kind of like the way they swap and the way they think about the game, right? So these hybrid maps, they can be very difficult to swap your composition at any given time because you kind of need to rush back to the payload to get as many fights in as possible. So it kind of shows that the mechanics are there for Legacy, but their game understanding just isn't quite there yet. But as they play more, they develop, they learn as players, they'll get the hold of that pretty easily. So it's good to see they've already taken a King of the Hill win. And they break the hybrid curse here.
It's definitely defendable for Legacy, but they're going to need a good solid hold on point A.
This is a composition the San Francisco Shock like to run, where they run the Baptiste instead of the Brigitte versus the DPS compositions on hybrid maps. It allows you a bit more damage versus the DPS compositions. Obviously, the Baptiste being a hit scan hero can deal with the Pharah easier, as well as the fact that your healing is a bit more stable than a Brigitte, because you don't need to activate anything to get it. Ike though, looking to build some energy. That's what you need dealing versus these DPS compositions. You see him taking Wubo very low.
Shots through D-field, but not really being able to charge much of that bulb up. Only at 13% so far. The Dynamite's not really connecting here. Contest on the point, of course, from Fundray, but now he's been knocked out of position. He gets bionated as well. And the pile driver will be enough to finish him, even through the Immortality field, which is still positioning through here. It's a good attempt from Rani. It's just not going to be the hold for Legacy here on point A that they really needed.
Stolen's dancing around. The Baptiste ult goes down. That's going to be a lot of damage for anyone shooting out of that cafe, but everyone's so low in there. And when you're in the cafe, you're not contesting the point. The EMP from Quad J, can he coming up for it?
Well, Nush is going to be able to get back out onto the point and contest, but Wubo shuts the door right on Legacy. Rocket Barrage finishes off a couple, and Fundray gets there for just a second, so too does Lab. That's all it is. 1 second or... Also, 5 minutes. Wow.
5 minutes, and they have good ultimates too. They have the Bob coming up, they have the EMP, they have the Mines, the Nano Boost. They've got everything. All they used was the Barrage there to take that point. So this is good signs for Athletico going into the second phase. And Legacy have swapped to a bunker composition, which is kind of weak versus the EMP going in straight away. So maybe they'll be able to take advantage of this. 6 fresh ults on the side of Legacy. They really need to win this fight, Athletico. If they don't win this one, things are going to be pretty grim. As Ike back on the Widowmaker, we saw last week on this map, he played an absolute blinder. Got 5 kills in 1 fight.
It's going to be a hard fight though, with Quad J having an EMP. Bob
He was cancelled
now as well. I don't know what's happened there, Smash, but you're right. Wubo now, Passo, they're all trying to get some kills, and even though the EMP was cancelled, it seems to be Athletico still winning the fight.
The sleep dart from Lab actually cancelled the EMP mid-animation. He made the fatal mistake of running on top of the Ana's head before he used his EMP. If you give the Ana any chance of cancelling it, a good Ana will take you out for there. And now Legacy, they swap again. So they just swapped over to a composition. 6 ults deleted. Now they're swapping again to this Roadhog composition, this Roadhog 3-3 that they've been playing versus DPS. But they're so late on the contest.
Are they even going to get a contest? Yes, they are. Fundray is on the point. Ike gets a hack across. Has to translocate out himself, but Wubo is eventually caught by the tanks of Legacy.
It's a 1-for-1, and he's been hacked in an awful position. He's managed to just get back in now. Wubo being rezzed means it's advantage Athletico in this fight.
Don't really want to be losing your main tank in a situation like that either for Legacy when they need someone to contest this point. Someone's going to have to find something big here. Can it be Rani to get a good hook across? That one seems to have gone just a little bit awry. 1-for-1 again, but now Legacy, they're back in earnest. 3 quick frags, and all of a sudden, it's advantage Legacy as they hold point B for another minute longer.
But they haven't built any key ultimates. The Diva Bomb's still low. Ike's doing his best to build this Sombra ult, but he's just not there yet. And Atletico have the full kit to go into this next phase. They got the Bob, the Barrage, the EMP. This is what they need to get this point out. There's only so little to capture. Rani's going to need to come up big on this Roadhog, maybe cancel a Barrage or cancel an EMP. Ike's going to have to find some hacks on some targets with ultimates here too.
Lab's going to have the nano boost though, which should be able to keep somebody alive in a dangerous situation. Rani with a whole hog, I'm not so sure how useful that's going to be here. Maybe it can have impact. But we're on the cart now for Atletico. EMP goes across, only Fundray and Noosh connected, but Lab doesn't even have the opportunity to use his nano boost. It's a 3-for-2 trade, all things considered. Legacy just not being able to get the ultimates out that they need, but Rani might still be the saving grace here, holding on the inside. Passo, even despite having the nano boost, is going to be forced away by Whole Hog, and now self-destruct down from Noosh and catches Wubo right after the res. Stolen Picnics also managed to get Sound Barrier in, and Legacy, they're fighting for survival, but they are surviving.
Rani has been impossible to dislodge in this little alleyway here on the Roadhog. He kind of contests the cart there too, so it's been very difficult for Legacy to get, Atletico to get any footing in these fights, and now they've realized that, hey, it's getting pretty dire. They had 5 minutes, and now it's only 1:30. They're swapped to the GOATS composition, but Legacy will answer. Rani, I feel he will swap off the Roadhog soon enough. No, he's choosing to stay on it. No, he's going to the Brigitte. So now they're going to be running into an EMP though. That's dangerous because that's a fight-winning ultimate if you're this side of Legacy.
Like with the EMP, it actually hits all 6 Atletico players. Let's not get too excited about this one. It's done and dusted. That was a great EMP from Ike, to be fair. But, well, Legacy didn't really have to do a whole lot past that.
At that point, when you know when the EMP is coming, you just call for a quick reset, boys. But Atletico, they don't build any ults off that, so really, it's back to square one. Nobody's got an ult. Fundray's the closest, and we've seen how big those shatters can be in this matchup so far. On Anubis, he came out big, but Atletico, they've wasted 5 minutes on the clock, essentially. Can they cap this map out and keep it alive?
That does not connect for Lab.
No, but he's in a really, really good position to get some nice bio nades off for his team to go aggressive on.
Just being pocketed by Stolen as well, so it's going to be difficult for anyone on Atletico to really challenge that high ground if they do get up there. Lab, though, does drop back off. I guess that's off a boop of design. Bio nade actually connects onto Passo. I thought it went into the shield, but no. Legacy knows better. And Atletico are going to have to back away here, surely. Without your main tank, there's no chance. 20 seconds. Atletico can't stay. They cannot stay.
They can't stay, but how are they going to be able to get back in time? Wither and Defield going down last means they're slow heroes. They're going to be hard for them to get back, and they're going to be running into a Shadow from Dre, a Nano Boost from Lab. This is going to be a difficult one to take for Atletico. They need some big plays, but are they even going to get to the car? Quache's going to get stalled out. No! That means Legacy will win the series. Wow. Legacy, they're coming back. The back end of the season looks good for the boys.
That's all you're going to have to say, Smash. Wow. What a great hold from Legacy there, right outside of point B. Would not have thought that that was possible, but time and time again, they're able to get those fights working in their favor, even when it looks like Atletico is just about to push it over the line. There's someone there with an ultimate or a play that comes off. It sticks for Legacy, and a well-deserved series win, 3-0. Now,